appendices. There were 10 of those appendices supporting this document. There was one on radar and electromagnetic effects. There was an annex on optical and light analysis. There was an annex on photographic and holographic analysis. There was one on historical research and evidence, an annex on metallurgical and technical analysis. There was an annex on atmospheric physics and meteorological studies. There was one on biological analysis and autopsies. A very important one on sociological studies and implications. An annex on psychological studies and mass effect and impact. And the last, not least, and in my own personal view, probably the single most important appendices or annex to this study of all, were the theological implications and the worldwide implications of this study. And I believe that to be probably the most important one, beyond the hardware, beyond the hard science, and I'll explain to you why. And I'll explain to you why I see the implications for that part of it as one reason why they have kept the lid on this secret for so long and are still sitting on top of it. Essentially, basically, is that some people have concluded that you, the American people, we, the citizens of this small planet, are simply not strong enough or bright enough or courageous enough to deal with the facts. Someone has decided that we really shouldn't be told. I quote to you the statement that was made a few years ago by one of the top people at the Central Intelligence Agency, which was quoted in the Washington Post, where he said, "If we're lying to you, it's for your own good." Now I ask you, how many of you are willing to take that? How many of you guys are willing to sit there and take crap like that? I'm not. I'm paying their bills. We're paying their salaries. And the time has come for us to stand up and say, not only no, but hell no. It's over. We're going to find out one way or the other. Now, what did this 3-year study and all of the money and all of this investigation and all of this research really lead to? When they published it in 1964, I said there was only 15 copies. Copy number 1 went to the Secretary General of NATO. Copy number 2 went to General Lyman Lemnitzer, who was the Supreme Allied Commander. Copy number 3 was assigned to the Shock Operations Center, and that's the one I got a chance to read over and over and over again. The other copies were distributed throughout the military headquarters to major military commanders from the various nations. There were copies in French and German and in English. But what was this document that stirred so much up there in shape in 1964? Let me tell you basically what the major conclusions were. Number 1, and this is a real grabber. The planet Earth, and apparently the entire human race, is and has been the subject of an extensive, intensive, and massive survey and examination by several, remember, several, extraterrestrial high-technology civilizations. And this survey has been extremely thorough and detailed. That almost blows you out of your chair right there. Number 2, these civilizations have demonstrated not only high intelligence, but an extremely advanced technology that may possibly be hundreds, if not thousands of years beyond our own. Evidence collected and studied by this report indicates that there is apparently some kind of a process or a plan unfolding. They, whoever they are, continually demonstrate that the development of some kind of program is underway. And over the last 40 years, you can see this developing. You can see this process taking place. It's very clear for those of us who spent most of our lives looking at it. Evidence in this report leads to the conclusion that this survey or program has been going on for a very long time, possibly several thousand years. My personal view is it's been going on a lot longer than that, and I'll explain to you why I feel that. Military intelligence analysis have concluded there did not repeat did not appear to be a major military threat involved, the conclusions seem to indicate that if they were either malevolent or hostile, that there was absolutely nothing that we could do at that time. And I have to tell you very honestly, there's absolutely nothing we can do at this time. SHAPE and NATO policy dictates that an ongoing study continues by the various military committees and that as many resources as possible by the major powers be committed to this matter. The entire subject is considered to be of the highest importance and extremely sensitive, and that this committee recommends that the highest level of classification be placed upon this matter, if approved by SACEUR, to be above top secret, above cosmic top secret, which is what they did. Well, that's what turned this young crew cut head around. I guess I really grew up at that time. Somehow, all of the fun and games that I had enjoyed over the years, and in the infantry, if any of you have ever been into it, we had our own fun and games. We drank too much. We caroused a bit. Particularly in combat situations, we had ways of unwinding. I developed a closeness with a lot of friends over those years, and I lost a lot of those friends over those years. But I never very seriously, after this study, laughed very much. I was completely changed in that my total view of the world had changed. My concept of myself and my awareness and concept of my life changed. It made such a difference on me that when my wife remarked about it, she said, something's wrong. She says, you're even different than you were when you came back from Korea. And that's true. And the change in my life, I'm sorry to have to tell you, led to the dissolution of my first marriage. I was never the same. The world did not seem quite the same to me. All of the fun and games that I had enjoyed with my friends over the years kind of took their place in the past. And I guess at that point, for the first time in my life, I really matured and grew up. And I owe that to this study. Now, the findings of the SHAPE assessment made a big difference in my life, but it was a tiny part of it in the sense that most of what I have learned and concluded over the last 30 years as a result of my own individual studies that I've added to considerably over the years beyond the military findings. The military findings, by the way, and I have to share this with you before it slips away. As you can probably tell, I do not deliver this from a prepared presentation. I don't have a prepared presentation. I'm winging this.